Welcome back. This is Dan Havey with CF Ninja Hacks. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to go through hacking the two-step order form. Now, there's probably a million different ways you can do this, but I'm just going to show you what I did. And first off, what this is here is one of the sales pages for the funnel code training. And you can still go there if you want, getthefunnelcode.com. The page is still active and live. But you can you see here, I obviously clearly modified the two-step order form quite a bit. We do this, and it scrolls up, and you see here, these two different sizes, they change a little bit. Well, where I really got that from was this morning. I didn't have this in here at first, and this morning I saw Pedro over here on his site, and he was saying how he had just done this where he when you go back and forth, it changes the size, it changes the background color, and it may even, yeah, it does change the corner a little bit on there as well. It gets a radius as it gets bigger. And I saw that and I said, oh, I should add that to mine. And so, of course, I did. And then I built out basically what is a third version of this. And we can come over here and take a look at the third version. And so when we click on the go to step 2, it always pops up to the top. And I notice it does the exact same thing in Pedro's video, that it jumps up and you can see the header goes away as it jumps up. So that's just a function of ClickFunnels. But it jumps up and we're changing the size. We're changing the size of the font. We're changing the size of the top piece there. And so, and then the little bar here scrolls back and forth. That's a native function built right into ClickFunnels, and I'll show you how that works as well. So let's just take a quick look at how I coded this. And in fact, what we want to do is, got to get this little bug out of the way there, is I'm going to come in and I'm going to kill all of the code to begin with. So just come in here, and while I'm doing is I'm putting in a little slash, which is not a proper way to comment, but it is a way to just kill the code because it creates a syntax error in the code and it kills it. So obviously don't leave that in on a live site. And we will kill all this down here. So this is what the form is going to look like before you ever get started. And so as you can see, it's totally different than what the end result is. And what we can do is we can come in here and we can inspect the form a little bit. So let's come in, because the first part and the main part we're working on here is this top part right up here. And so the let me see here, the top of the element itself is right here. And a couple of things that we use out of here, or certainly the one thing, is L order two-step. We use that in the CSS, and we're using that to define this element. I could have used the DE type of order two-step. I could have used the ID right here, or like I said, this right there, or I could even have used the data title. But in this case here, I just used the class of order, L order two-step. And so for the L order two-step, that's right here. And I just say on that we want to make the background color transparent and the border transparent, because you can see the background color is white and there's a slight border around the outside. So we want to get rid of that. So we're going to remove that. And so now there we are. We're getting started here. So the next thing here is the order two-step header, which I do believe is the first element right inside of here. Order two-step header. And you're going to see here, I turned on flex for this, and that's what's causing the coloration over here, is that we are using flex on this item. And you can click on this here, and you can turn everything off. It just shows you the area that is being flexed. And because we're doing that, because we want to be able to keep these items lined up side by side, but at the same time be able to put a margin on the top and force the one that is not the active one. In this case here, number 2 is not active. We want to be able to force that down to the bottom, and you can use that by using your flex here. So we say align items flex bottom, and see, it allows it then to get pulled down to the bottom like that. So that's the simplest way to do that. If we take out the flex wrap, we end up with all 3 on the same line. And if we do away with the display flex, you see here, Now this is up in the air because it wants to be the same height as the one next to it because they're actually using a float. And so once you use a float, then it takes it out of the flow of the document. And so everything wants to float to the left. And it also won't give us the proper height there either because of the padding is not correct. And so by just simply doing display and flex wrap and then line items flex end, it pushes the one that is not active down to the bottom, and then we get it lined up like that, nice and neat. And so that would be this right here. And so let's turn that off. And of course, now we have completely transparent backgrounds because we said here background image of none. There had been like a white background image behind there, but we want to take that out, of course, because we want to make them black and red depending on which side they are on. So then we have order two-step step, and that is right here. This element right here has order two-step step as a class. And then this one, let's close that back up. The one below it here also has order two-step step. So we're affecting both of the top boxes by doing this next line of CSS. And let's just click on this again. And in here we have, let me make sure I'm looking at the right thing. Yep, I am. Okay, in here we have the opacity of 1 because if not, I guess we're probably not going to be able to see. Let me see, background color. Whatever, it makes it, it just kind of fades out the one that is not active, and I didn't want that at all. So then we got the background color of black. We got a color of white. And so what we're doing is we're saying we want both of these to have a background color of black. We want both of them to have a text of white. And then the active one, that's the one that we're going to change and give it the red and the larger font size and all that kind of stuff. And then I also put a radius on both of them as well. So we come back into our code and we turn this back on, then we're going to get them, as you see now, they're both the same height and they both have white text and a black background, but the blue text for the shipping, that again was a built-in function of ClickFunnels. I like that, so I just left that in there. And so now we're going to go to the order two-step title, which should be, I think, the first element inside of here. No, maybe not. Let me see. Order two-step title. So here is the number. So the number 1 or the number 2 is the order two-step number. And then you have the order two-step header text, which includes both the text and the subtext, or the title and the subtitle. So we have here order two-step title right here, and you're going to have the exact same thing for the other box down below it for number 2 right down here. You're also going to have your order two-step title. So again, that's going to affect both of them. And then again, when it becomes active, we will change it. And so let's come down here and turn that back on. And so now you see what happened there is it gave it a text shadow of 1 pixel black. So with the blue there, I thought it was kind of fading into the black a little bit. So I wanted to put a little bit of a shadow around there and try to pull that out a little bit. We also went with a font weight of bold, and I set the standard font size to 16. If I turn that off, you see you got a little smaller, so it must be like 14 by default. So I wanted that a little bit bigger. And then when we go to the active, then it's going to become even bigger after that. And why does this shipping look a little bit smaller than your info is because of the text shadow that we have on there. It's actually black, so it's going to make it look a little bit smaller. I don't know so you can really see it. It's so tiny on the screen. You can't really see it when I turn it on and off. So now we have here order two-step active. And so now this is when we're getting into the active state. And how do you know when it's in the active state? Well, you come right here. Where the heck is it here? What am I looking for here? It should be right here in front of my eyes. Why am I not seeing it? Well, if you can't find it, what we can do is we can change this. And there you just saw it happen. And now let's go back to the first one. And so it's right here. So we got our order two-step, step one, order two-step, step, which we've already used. And then we have our order, what is it here? Order two-step active is what the class is. And so for the class as a whole, for the entirety of it, we're going to set some CSS. And then for each element inside of it, we also have to set additional CSS to change. For the most part here, we're going to change the font sizes. So we're going to come in here. So we have our order two-step active, and that's going to be padding at 25 pixels. Right now it has 15 pixels all around. We're going to give it 25 pixels to make the box bigger. That's the main reason for doing this, is just to make the box a little bit bigger, make it a little bit taller so it will stand out. And then we're going to say the next step in, no, actually, no, I'm sorry, this is actually the same step here, which now I think about it, do I need to have that second part of the, let me see here, where were we here? We're right here, so we got order, two-step, step, active step. See, I don't think we need this now that I think about it. Let's leave that one dead. Let's copy this out of here. Let's paste that in, and there we go. So you actually, this element we don't need, because here we had the class of order two-step active, and then I say find the element that has the class of order two-step active, and also find that two-step active that also has a class of order two-step step. Well, in all instances, it's going to have that. So we could take this out because it's not necessary, because we have that defined right up here at the top. So now we're going to say we want to go to the step number, the step title, and the step subtitle. And all we're doing here is we're changing the font sizes of these three elements. So we're going to turn that on, and it will make the elements a bit bigger when it's in the active state. And so that's really it for these two elements. The only other thing I did on this page is I came into the wrapper at the bottom. This, when we go to the second step here, this down here at the bottom, came in there and I said we want the color of white, so the font color of white, and I want to put this red border around the outside of it. So we will turn that on, and so now we got the border around the outside, and we have a font color of white in there, and so that's where you see the white showing up on the page right in there. And so that's really it. So the rest of this down here can only be affected once you apply one of Jamie Smith's CF Pro tools for being able to use PayPal in conjunction with Stripe. And so that's what I had been doing over here. And so what the code essentially says is, so we want a background color of white in here. So what did I colorize white in the background? I do believe, yeah, it's right here where it says PayPal. I turned that white in the background because otherwise you couldn't see it against the black, because the credit card area here, this has a black background, and I wanted the PayPal to stand out because it's an image and you couldn't see it otherwise. And then let me see here. Well, that was background color white. Well, that's the exact same thing here. Background. Oh, this was the PayPal one, background color white, and this was background color of white. No, that's a PayPal image. I wonder if I have this in here twice. Either way, there's two things in here that apparently have a background color of white. Maybe it's this here. Without inspecting the page, I don't know. But that's kind of irrelevant. I mean, the biggest thing was just playing around with these two headers up here and getting it to go from, you saw what it looked like to begin with, which was as plain Jane as you could possibly get. And I will turn everything off here quickly to show you the before and after again, because it certainly makes a stark difference by spending a little time applying a little CSS. And then the beauty is once you're done with this, you can have it forever and use it, modify it, and be able to create cool stuff like this instead of the other one. So right on cue, I'm starting to lose my voice, so I'm out of here. If you got any questions, just let me know.